Welcome to the unofficial video game show. My name is Ross Gillespie.
And my name is Emma Lewis.
And today, on our second episode, we are going to be reviewing the very new game, very highly anticipated game, Red Dead Redemption. Emma here has actually managed to find a copy since there are none left in Scotland. She is the only person to have actually played it, which is again unfortunate for us since she played the last game we reviewed as well.
Yeah.
So Emma, please take us away.
Red Dead Redemption. Well, Red Dead Redemption is absolutely awesome. It is Grand Theft Auto Wild West style. You're playing John Marston. His story comes out gradually as you go through the game. Haven't completed the game yet, so there's lots more to come, but I have made it to Mexico, which is quite a substantial achievement. You basically are an outlaw, but you're good at the same time, so you kind of got a bit of a conflict going on, as you do with most GTA games. So it's interesting. It's becoming quite bizarre. You've got Deadeye, which is a new feature. You know, you don't normally have that, and Deadeye is where you get a slow motion shooting sequence where you can be more accurate with where your shots are going.
Bullet time.
Bullet time.
Max Payne.
And
back to the Matrix.
yeah, you've got certain levels of Deadeye you can get, and the more, obviously, you've got 3 levels, and the highest level is 3, and if you've got it, then you can be more accurate and you can do better shots. So I have managed to get to Deadeye 3, I should say, which is it's a new thing, but great, because you've got all sorts of scavenger hunts going on. You can do survivalist challenges, which are like shooting birds up in the sky and shooting deer and mountain lions, I should say. All sorts of bizarre creatures.
In America?
Mountain lions. I got attacked by a set of them when I was out on a wee stroll. So yes, it's good.
But Grand Theft Auto with horses.
With horses are interesting because they're not as predictable as a car. And if you annoy your horse too much, it will kick you off. And that's not what you want to do if you're in the middle of a race, or in the middle of a mission where you have to chase someone, because obviously they could get a bit far away from you. So you have to look after your horse, and I think it's quite good. I think it's you don't get as much speed though. You know, when you're in a GTA game and you can speed as fast as you like and crash it. So you can't do that with a horse, because if you keep pushing the horse to go faster, as I said, it chucks you off, or it collapses. It has collapsed on me once.
Alright. I mean, the only experience I have with horses is Oblivion, where you actually buy a horse, raise a horse, take it out about with you. Well, not much to it.
Well, you get given a horse, and well, you start off with one horse, but certain missions, because one of them was actually, you know, catching wild horses and taming them and getting them in check, you get given a new stallion by one of the other characters in the game, Bonnie McFarlane, who runs one of the ranches with her father. So you can get new ones, but you can also buy them at the general store. You can upgrade your horse. I haven't actually
modify it like Need for Speed with horses. Look at the neon I have under my horse.
Well, I think my horse, for a horse anyway, it's already going quite fast, but apparently my horse is just your run-of-the-mill one. I haven't actually bought one of the fastest horses. I am looking forward to trying it out. I want to see how much faster can I get from A to B.
Well, that's A to B, but what's at B? I mean, what sort of things are we looking at here in this game?
Well, you've got all sorts of things. I mean, it's non-stop action. I mean, not just the storylines and the missions. You've got many challenges that come up, which are random people out and about in the middle of the desert who need help of some sort. You've also got issues where you get people in the middle of the road and you're never quite sure if they're going to be bandits or if they're going to be good people that need help until you get quite close. So most of the time you're running straight into the line of fire. So it's quite interesting. So you never actually go from one town to another without incurring quite a few things along the way. So I thought I was quite concerned that when I was going to be riding around this map that I was going to be bored, because there aren't going to be people wandering around. It's not like main streets of a Grand Theft Auto game. But because they've built in all these miniature features where you get challenged to do certain things, or you can ignore them. You can ignore them if you want. It's not quite as bad. And plus you can explore the territory and you can find things, you can find treasure maps. Treasure maps are interesting. Think you found a treasure map, you think it's going to tell you, but it's not a treasure map. It's literally got a feature that you have to find somewhere in the desert. And one that I found has a couple of rocks on it and and a cactus. And
These
you're
are the features.
in the middle of the desert. I mean, I have no idea where to begin. I have no idea.
It sounds very much like Fallout. I mean, you've got conscience, good, bad conscience. You've got characters that give you side quests. You know, you're out in the desert on a map. I mean, we've had cowboy games before. I mean, Call of Juarez was very popular on the Xbox last year. We've had Badlands, which has been very popular as well. You know, a lot of people play that. But everybody seems to be raving about it. I mean, you know, apart from being Grand Theft Auto with horses, is there any major improvements to this game? Is there something that you diet? What about the story of characters? What are they like?
The story, I mean, the story is basically John Marston was part of a gang who turned against him. They shot him. There's something going on which I've not quite discovered yet with the federal government who are controlling him. They've sent him to this place. They've got his wife and his child. We know that much. And they want him to hunt down the leader of the gang. So at the moment, I'm in Mexico, which is the next island over, because you've finally established that he's not holed up in Fort Mercer. So the whole roles and all the missions and everything is towards assaulting Fort Mercer, where you think he is. But you get in there with the help of the marshal, some funny dude that sells an elixir that's meant to give you good life and all this. A swindler, basically. A drunk Irishman and a couple of the marshal's guys, and you get into Fort Mercer to discover he's not there. So the whole idea is you're tracking this guy down. He's a bad guy, and the reason you're doing it, I suppose, is because the federal government have got your wife and child.
Ah.
And really all John Marston wants to do, although he has been an outlaw, is get back to his family and take the straight road. But you do have a choice, because you have honour. You've got this honour thing going on, and I accidentally shot my horse the first time I was using Deadeye, and apparently that's not good.
No, I don't think the horse thought it was very good either.
I got -50 honour for it.
There's a point system.
There's a point system, yeah, and it goes up and down the scale. But when you start getting lots of honour, when you start becoming famous, the townsfolk, you even get a message up saying they'll turn a blind eye to the first person you kill, so you get like a freebie kill if you want. Just in case you get stressed, like this.
Well, would that not help if you want to kill a bad guy?
It will help, it will help. However, you have to, as I said, you have to be careful about things out in the desert, because you're never quite sure until you get there. I thought I was shooting a bad guy, I should say, the other day there, and it turned out that I ended up shooting two sheriff cops who were after the bad guy.
Not a good idea.
Because you couldn't see their little stars from so far away. So you have to be quite careful with what you're doing.
But this is typical cowboys in Indian fare with the revolvers and rifles.
Yep. You
You also found another weapon you were fond of earlier. What was all that about?
Oh, the machine gun.
No, the lasso.
Oh, the lasso! Oh, that is a great feature. The lasso, you learn to use the lasso because you're meant to be taming wild horses. So obviously it's for the purpose of catching a horse, grabbing it and being able to get it in check. However, you can use it to capture criminals. You've got bounty hunts that you can go on, and you get more money if you bring the person in alive. And up until the point of that mission where you got told how to use the lasso, all you could really do was shoot them, because if you don't, they'll shoot you. But now you can lasso them, hog tie them, chuck them on the back of your horse, and take them back to the marshal's office, and you get more money. It's great.
Sounds good. It's like vigilante mode.
Vigilante mode, yeah. So that's a good. That's a good feature. I
Well,
like it.
Good feature, good game. It sounds like. I mean, this is Rockstar. Rockstar are very famous for big sprawling worlds in Grand Theft Auto. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 4 we reviewed, massive game, great graphics, great sound as well, music wise. I mean, in terms of looks and feel of this game, I mean, how much did it grab your attention?
Well, I mean, sometimes I'm riding around the map, and I think this may be a weakness. A lot of the map looks very similar. As I just mentioned earlier about the treasure maps, it'll be very difficult to find those features anywhere, because they are so similar. The map is huge though, and so, you know, it is that if you didn't have anything to occupy yourself, I think you'd get bored. You would.
Alright, well,
That's a negative, but on the whole, it is a very good game.
well, very good game, highly rated, lots of things to do and lots of things to find out. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. Short and sweet, we might follow this up again, episode 2, part 2,
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption. Until next week, my name is Ross Gillespie,
And my name's Emma Lewis.
and we'll see you on the next episode of the Unofficial Video Game Show. Bye bye.
How much time was that?
That was